And a good Wednesday midday to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video driven by 802cars.com. They represent 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Well, the big takeaway here is this big ridge of higher pressure at 500 hectopascal thicknesses. You can see this nice ridge with these tan lines here. The surface area of higher pressure is actually a little bit further south along the southeast or middle Atlantic coast, and with a secondary surface area of higher pressure center a little bit to the north and east across the northeast United States. It's affording us some very excellent weather with above normal temperatures and some pretty nice conditions overall that's going to last basically into the weekend. The big change, of course, will be the sort of ring of fire that is along this periphery. These are capes, convective available potential energy, and you can see that they basically get into the Gulf of Mexico and into Texas, where they're seeing a feed of weather systems that has been almost a daily basis producing flooding. Meanwhile, precipitation's kind of sneaking up near the Mississippi River into the Great Lakes region. A lot of that's going to fall apart as it reaches this area of higher pressure, so we're not really looking at anything major, but this area of higher pressure will collapse. We also call this the ring of fire as it kind of sets up around the periphery of the sort of bubble of higher pressure. That's going to collapse, it looks like, over the weekend. There's one major significant notation here, and that is we could see some potential for some stronger, maybe some severe thunderstorm activity. When that does collapse, we'll have available precipitable water and a potential for some thunderstorm activity that may include also some wind gusts. But the best chances for that will await us until basically fairly late in the period. We're talking Sunday afternoon, and that'll be followed by another kind of Canadian area of higher pressure that'll then push in and bring us some clearing skies for the early part of next week. Looking at the European model, this is the 1029 hectopascal area of higher pressure. Another one situated up to the north and east in the Canadian Maritimes. This is basically going to go to work and shield us from these weather systems, and this is our ring of fire once again. So on this Wednesday early afternoon, this is valid about 2 o'clock. This is into the evening hours. You can see really no worries of any precipitation. And then eventually as we get into the day, it looks like during the overnight period on Thursday late in the day, there might be some minor isolated shower and thunderstorm activity. It looks like the best chances will be across the eastern sections of the state as conditions off to the north and west of us kind of fall apart. But this is valid in the morning hours. It looks like a little bit of additional moisture. I wouldn't count on that. And then a slight flare-up during the afternoon, some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms, relatively benign for Friday. So both Thursday and Friday look benign. I'm not really counting on anything to worry about for the utilities. However, we get into the weekend and we're starting to see the collapse of this ring of fire and that moisture that has circulated all the way around the anticyclone. And so it comes at us in the north, and it'll have a little bit better organization with some good convergence and some decent precipitable water with it as well. And as it does so, we'll have a couple different kind of frontal boundaries that kind of work into the region. The first one comes in, it looks like on during the day on Saturday, and we get into just a little bit of moisture here. As you can see, that kind of collapses, and we start getting into a little bit more of a higher precipitation node. It's this weather system, that this frontal boundary, that looks like it has the main issue here, and this comes in on basically Sunday afternoon. This is valid about 2 o'clock on Sunday. It's just beginning to get into the region, and you can see here a little bit more of a pressure gradient, a little shot of west to northwesterly winds, and a fairly significant frontal system that will then power on through. This could have some convective elements, producing some marginally strong wind gusts, and there could be some issues with the new tree canopy that we have now with leaf out and green up taking place. So something we'll have to watch. Again, this is going to be on Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. And then this area of higher pressure will then begin to build into the region based on the European model. Again, kind of lowered confidence, but it is going to be bringing us a couple days of fairly dry, sunny conditions, good solar irradiation, and that should last into the day on Tuesday as it looks right now. Looking at the GFS ensemble, this is 3 hourly quantitative precipitation forecast, or just about each day. So we're looking at a couple dry days, and then we start to get into some minor potential for some precipitation. Total QPF based on the GFS is up around 0.8 of an inch by the time we get into the early part of next week. And once again, just kind of heading this up, I'm going to show you the precipitable water amounts here. You'll see a little bit of a rise as dew point temperatures are also on the increase. So precipitable water looks like this, and then we dry out with that cold front. We get into some really dry air, and then a little bit of an uptick beyond for next week. But in the meantime, also dew point temperatures are something to look at here, and we do see these temperatures get into the low 60s. And this will add fuel for any kind of thunderstorm development until that front moves on through, and then we start to get into that cooler air. Ring of fire, higher pressure and control, and the ring of fire basically is around the periphery of this area of higher pressure, this anticyclonic flow. And once it collapses, it's going to start to pick up a little bit of that moisture across the northern portions of New England, hence mainly northern Vermont. And that's where we're actually seeing near to slightly below normal precipitation with below normal precipitation otherwise. Climate reanalyzer looks like this in terms of temperature, and we're looking at above normal conditions, slightly cooler conditions that have moved on in and kind of circulated back to the west. Also, there's been a trough of lower pressure, and you can kind of see the setup right now. Nothing major. Once again, that's dew point temperatures. This is the 2-meter temperature maximums and so forth. We might even see a little bit of frost once we get into that colder air mass for the early part of next week, but it's low confidence at that point, and nothing major here to look at. But hey, summer weather, early summer-like temperatures, we'll take it. And you're looking at the maximum high temperatures. We're running about 3 to 6 degrees above normal as this slightly warmer air works on in. Look, it's rather chilly across portions of Canada, the west, and so forth. And this is going to probably heat up. What's it look like about 3 days later? These are maximum high temperatures only. You can see that we do warm things up across the eastern seaboard under this area of higher pressure, this blocking anticyclone, and looking good. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.